everyone, welcome back. I am Surabhi. I am a research scholar at the Center for Philosophy, Jawaharlal Nehru University. So in this video and also in the upcoming videos, I will be discussing different schools of Indian philosophy. While in this particular video, I will discuss the general background of Indian philosophy and Charvak philosophy in particular. We will be discussing both epistemological as well as the metaphysical concepts in all these schools, as these concepts are not distinct or isolated concepts, they are related concepts. So we will be discussing both these concepts as taken up by different schools of Indian philosophy. So before I start, I want to mention that these videos and the discussions that I would be dealing with will be oriented towards the objective type exam, so I will not go into the great details of these schools. Okay, so let me ask you, what is philosophy? Okay, let us start from the very basic question, what is philosophy? So as you must be aware that philosophy comes from the word philo and sophia, that means love for wisdom. While in the Indian perspective, it is seen as the vision of truth. Okay, and that is why it is also known as darshan, where darshan means vision of truth. Okay, so Indian philosophy, as we know, is broadly divided into two classes. Okay, the heterodox school and the orthodox school. Heterodox is also known as Nastik and orthodox is known as Astik. One must be clear that when we are talking about the orthodox as being Astik or the heterodox to be Nastik, then we are not taking those terms Astik and Nastik in the general sense that we say that when is one considered as Nastik is that when we do not believe in God. But that is not how it is taken here in Indian philosophy. So when we say that they are Nastik, that means that they do not believe in the authority of Vedas. And those who are the Astiks, they believe in the authority of Vedas. So the orthodox schools, they believe in the authority of Vedas, while the heterodox schools, they do not believe in the authority of Vedas. Now let us see which are the schools which fall under these two categories. So under the orthodox tradition, there are 6 schools which are Nyaya Vaisheshik, Sankhya Yoga and Mimamsa Vedanta. Because there are 6 schools from this tradition, it is also known as Shat Darshan. From the heterodox tradition, there are 3 schools that lies in this category, which are the materialist schools, which is the Charvak, then the Buddhists and the Jains. So these are the 3 schools which fall under this category. So let us start by discussing the Charvak philosophy. So the Charvaks were the ones who believed in materialism. But the question arises, who is the founder of this school? So there is no one particular answer because there is no valid evidence as to who was the founder of the school. So Brihaspati is regarded as the traditional founder of the school. Some believe that Charvak, who was the main disciple of Brihaspati, was the one on whose name the school is so called. It is the Charvak who is considered as the founder of the school. While some believe that Charvak is not a proper name, it is a kind of a common name or a general name which is used to signify people who believed in the idea of eat, drink and be merry. So there is no one particular theory to say that this particular person is the founder of Charvak school or the word Charvak means this and that. So there are various theories regarding that. Some people believe that the word Charvak has come from the words Charu and Vak, which means sweet-tongued. So it was considered that these are the people who emphasized on worldly things and worldly pleasures. The most important synonym of Charvak is Lokayat. So this is very important, please keep this in mind, that another synonym for Charvak is considered as Lokayat. The word Lokayat has come from the word commoner, or something which is popular amongst the people, like materialism. So materialism was considered as popular among the people, and therefore this name has come into existence, which is Lokayat. So it is important to keep in mind that this school is also known as Lokayat. You must be aware that in Indian philosophy we called the valid cognition or valid knowledge as Prama, and the means of valid knowledge or the sources of valid knowledge as Praman. So there are 6 types of Pramans accepted by the Indian philosophical schools. So there are 6 types of Praman accepted in Indian philosophy. Those are: first, perception, which is also known as Pratyaksh; then inference, which is also known as Anuman; then comparison, which is also known as Upman; then testimony or verbal testimony, which is also known as Shabd; then postulation, which is known as Arthapatti; and non-perception, which is known as Anupalabdhi. So according to Charvak, there is only one valid means of knowledge. So according to Charvak, it is only perception or pratyaksh that is considered as the valid means of knowledge. They do not accept any other kind of praman. Okay, so it is important to remember that for Charvak, it is only perception, that is one and only one praman that is considered as the valid means of knowledge. Now, what is perception, which is also known as pratyaksh? So if we look at the word pratyaksh, then etymologically it comes from 2 words, prati and aksh, where prati means to or before or near, while aksh means eyes or sense organs. So it means that to present before, or something that is in front of our eyes or our sense organs. Okay, so that is why perception is considered as direct and immediate means of knowledge. Moving on to the next important aspect is Charvak's refutation of inference and verbal testimony. The school has rejected the validity of inference because they say that in inference we go from the known to the unknown. They believe that in inference we move from the known to the unknown, therefore it is a mere leap in the dark. So this is also a very important question that often comes in the exam, that how did Charvak criticize inference? So they have criticized inference by saying that it is a mere leap in the dark. Fine. So they have criticized deductive inference because they think that deductive inference leads to the fallacy of petitio principii, as the conclusion is already contained in the major premise. So the argument goes in a circle, hence it creates a fallacy of petitio principii. They have also rejected inductive inference because again inductive inference we move from the known to the unknown. While the most important aspect of any kind of inference is vyapti, which is the invariable concomitance. Emphasize that vyapti, which is the nerve of all the inference, can itself not be proved. So we cannot prove vyapti on which the inference is based, right? And therefore they reject inference and vyapti. So they consider that vyapti is a mere guesswork. So we cannot see vyapti as a valid means of attaining knowledge. Now the question that is being asked is why vyapti cannot be proved. So they say that we are moving from the known to the unknown. So we cannot perceive it. So it cannot be based on perception. It can also not be based on inference because vyapti itself is the nerve of the inference. So if we say that if we base vyapti on inference, then we would have to presuppose that inference is in itself valid. So again that would lead to a problem of infinite regress. Again, they say that vyapti cannot be proved based on testimony because they have already rejected testimony. They do not consider testimony as the means of valid knowledge. So we cannot base our knowledge of Vyapti on testimony. Secondly, if testimony proves Vyapti, then inference becomes dependent on testimony, and then none would be able to infer anything by themselves. Therefore, they have rejected Vyapti, and which is the nerve of all inference. Therefore, they have rejected inference. Moving on to Charvak metaphysics now. So Charvak's metaphysics is based on Charvak's epistemology. How? Because for Charvak, it is only perception that is considered as the valid means of knowledge. So for them, only that which can be perceived will be considered as truth or will be considered as reality. So they considered matter as the ultimate reality because we can perceive matter. So because it alone can be perceived, therefore matter is regarded as the only reality. Because they have based everything on perception, so they have rejected God, they have rejected soul, they have also rejected life before death or after death. Okay, so any unperceived element cannot be believed. Because they do not believe in the existence of God, they are also known as atheists. So Charvak school is also known as atheistic school because they do not believe in the existence of God, because we cannot perceive God. So as we know that everything is based on perception, therefore they have rejected the existence of God, or anything that is unperceivable is rejected by them. So according to Charvak, the world is made up of 4 elements: earth, water, fire and air. They have rejected ether or akash because that cannot be perceived. Again, so they have accepted only 4 elements as the ultimate elements. Say that consciousness is a byproduct of matter. Keep that in mind. So consciousness for them is byproduct of matter. What is soul? Is simply a conscious living body. That is also known as Dehe Atmavad. That is also another important question that usually comes in exam. So they believed in Dehe Atmavad. On liberation, they said that liberation to them is death. So only when your body dies, you get liberation. The ultimate goal of human life is the maximum happiness or pleasure. Because they believe that the ultimate goal of human life is pleasure, they are also known as the hedonist theory. Ethics for Charvak is based on individual pleasure. Out of the 4 human values, that is dharma, arth, kam and moksha, they have only accepted kam and arth. So whereas for them kam is the ultimate end, while it will be realized through arth. So arth will serve as a means to lead to that ultimate goal, that is calm or pleasure. Okay, so with this we come to the end of our discussion on Charvak. I hope it was beneficial for you and you have gained a lot of information from it. Please stay with us for more videos on Indian philosophy. Thank you.